You can exercise 3 times a week, hit your protein target every day, and still wake up year after year feeling weaker, softer, and more fragile than you remember. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people over 45 never hear. Muscle loss isn't just about how much you eat or how often you work out. It's about whether your body can actually use what you give it. After the age of 40, your muscles quietly become resistant to growth signals. Scientists call this anabolic resistance. Translation? The same foods that built muscle in your 30s suddenly stop working as effectively. You're doing the same things, but your body is playing by new rules. And if this continues unchecked, muscle loss doesn't just affect how you look. It affects balance, bone strength, blood sugar control, metabolism, and even how long you stay independent as you age. In fact, muscle loss is one of the strongest predictors of falls, fractures, and loss of mobility later in life. But here's the good news. In a moment, I'll show you 3 specific foods that research consistently links to preserving and rebuilding muscle after 45. These aren't exotic superfoods. They're everyday foods, but when eaten correctly, they flip your body's muscle-building switch back on. Let's talk about why this matters now more than ever. As we get older, the systems that once worked effortlessly in our 30s begin to slow down. Hormone levels shift, digestion becomes less efficient, muscles recover more slowly. And without the right nutritional signals, your body starts prioritizing survival over strength. Age-related muscle loss, also called sarcopenia, doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in silently. You notice it when climbing stairs feels harder, when grocery bags seem heavier, or when getting up from the floor takes more effort than it used to. By the time most people take it seriously, they've already lost 10 to 20% of their muscle mass. And the worst part? Many are told it's just normal aging. But normal doesn't mean inevitable. Here's the problem most people face. They're told to just eat more protein or lift some weights. And while those things matter, they're incomplete advice. You've probably heard the myth that muscle loss is unavoidable after a certain age. That once you pass 50 or 60, strength decline is just part of life. But that's not what the science actually shows. What research shows is that muscle loss accelerates. When the body stops responding properly to key nutrients, it can't absorb or use them effectively. This can lead to serious health problems. In other words, it's not just how much protein you eat, it's whether your muscles can detect and respond to it. Without the right triggers, protein simply gets burned for energy instead of used to rebuild muscle tissue. Let me put this into a real-world example. Imagine 2 people eating the same chicken breast. One is 30, the other is 60. The younger person's muscles respond quickly, activating muscle protein synthesis. This rapid response helps with faster recovery and growth. The older person's muscles barely react. Same food, completely different outcome. This brings us to the hidden truth behind age-related muscle loss. After 40, your muscles require stronger and more specific signals to grow. They need higher quality amino acids, supportive micronutrients, and metabolic conditions that reduce inflammation and insulin resistance. Several studies from institutions like Harvard, Tufts, and the National Institute on Aging show that older adults require more leucine, more omega-3 fatty acids, and better insulin sensitivity to maintain muscle mass. Without these, muscle-building pathways stay dormant. Here's where tension builds. Most modern diets, even high-protein ones, are missing these signals. People eat plenty of calories, but very little of what actually tells the body, protect muscle at all costs. And this is why 2 people can eat the same diet and age completely differently. One stays strong and active into their 70s. The other becomes frail by their early 60s. The difference isn't luck, it's nutritional signaling. So let's talk about the solution. 3 foods that research repeatedly links to preserving muscle. This can help in improving strength and reversing anabolic resistance when used consistently. The first food is eggs. Whole eggs, not just egg whites. Eggs are one of the richest natural sources of leucine, the amino acid that directly activates muscle protein synthesis. Leucine acts like an ignition key. Without enough of it, muscle growth simply doesn't start. What makes eggs unique is that the yolk contains fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin D, choline, and cholesterol that support hormone production and muscle signaling. Studies show that whole eggs stimulate muscle growth more effectively than egg whites alone, even when protein content is matched. The best time to eat eggs is earlier in the day or after resistance exercise. This is when your muscles are most receptive to anabolic signals. The most common mistake people make is avoiding the yolk due to outdated cholesterol fears. But dietary cholesterol does not directly translate to blood cholesterol in most people, and eliminating the yolk removes half the muscle-building benefit. Let me introduce you to David, a 58-year-old accountant. He struggled with strength loss despite regular workouts. It's been frustrating. Once he switched from egg whites to whole eggs 3 to 4 times a week, his muscle recovery improved noticeably within 2 months. So his grip strength increased, and his workouts stopped leaving him sore for days. The second food is fatty fish, particularly salmon and sardines. Fatty fish provide omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. These fats don't build muscle directly. Instead, they make muscle cells more sensitive to protein and insulin, which is crucial after 45. Research shows that omega-3s enhance muscle protein synthesis and reduce inflammation that interferes with muscle repair. Older adults who consume fatty fish 2 to 3 times per week show significantly slower rates of muscle loss. The best time to eat fatty fish is with a balanced meal containing protein and carbohydrates. This combination amplifies insulin sensitivity and nutrient uptake. The biggest mistake is relying on low-dose fish oil supplements instead of food. Many supplements provide insufficient EPA and DHA to produce meaningful effects, while whole fish delivers them in bioavailable form. Margaret, a 62-year-old retired teacher, added salmon dinners twice a week after experiencing leg weakness. 6 months later, her walking speed improved, and her physical therapist noted better muscle endurance during balance exercises. The third food is Greek yogurt, particularly full-fat varieties. It provides protein and good fats for sustained energy. Greek yogurt provides a powerful combination of casein protein, calcium, and probiotics. Casein digests slowly, providing a steady release of amino acids that protect muscle overnight. This is especially important because muscle breakdown accelerates during sleep. Consuming Greek yogurt in the evening helps counteract this loss and supports recovery. Calcium plays a role in muscle contraction, while probiotics improve gut health, allowing better absorption of protein and minerals. The most common mistake is choosing flavored, low-fat versions loaded with sugar. These spike insulin unnecessarily and reduce the benefit. Plain, full-fat Greek yogurt delivers the best results. One client case involved a 55-year-old man who began eating Greek yogurt before bed 3 times a week. Within weeks, nighttime muscle cramps disappeared and his morning stiffness improved noticeably. Now let's talk about what to avoid, because this is where most people sabotage their progress. First, skipping protein earlier in the day. Waiting until dinner to eat protein means your muscles go unfed for hours, accelerating breakdown. Second, pairing protein with highly processed carbohydrates. This increases inflammation and blunts muscle signaling. Third, under-eating fat. Healthy fats are essential for hormone balance and nutrient absorption. Whole eggs activate muscle growth. Fatty fish restore sensitivity. Greek yogurt protects muscle overnight. Let's bring everything together. Muscle loss is not an inevitable part of aging. It's a response to missing signals. Here's a bonus tip. Strength training works best when paired with these foods within the same day. Nutrition and movement amplify each other. When you eat well and stay active, the benefits multiply. It's the perfect synergy for your health. Now I'd like to hear from you. Which of these foods have you been avoiding or eating incorrectly? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to learn the one habit that silently accelerates muscle loss even in people who eat well, make sure you watch the next video. Your future strength depends on it.